We're live, sir.
All right, buddy.
How are you, man?
Good, man. Good.
Good.
Just slugging away,
Yeah.
plowing through stuff. How about you?
Good, man. I'm excited about the shit we're working on. It's exciting. It's big. It's very big. It's exciting. I got a shit ton of links to go over today. So
all right, let's do it.
I mean, none of them are going to take a long time each, so we may be through sooner than I thought. But let's. You and I both had a bunch that we were looking at last night and discussing. So let me get the share going here. There we go. So, in Win for Crypto Stakers, IRS offers refund on untraded token rewards. So essentially what I got from this was that a couple in Tennessee said, fuck you, we're not paying taxes on the rewards we got for stake tokens. These were created and made, and they were not purchased. And so the judge said, yeah, you're fucking right. So William E. Quigley wrote, section 34 to 37 of the judge's ruling is remarkably clear as to why staking rewards are not income. Paragraph 34, new property not received as payment or compensation from another person but created by the taxpayer is not and has never been income under U.S. federal law. And then he said, I love paragraph 37. Therefore, Glenshaw Glass, which is the case cited as precedent, would not tax the baker solely because he bakes a cake or the writer solely because she writes a book, i.e. created property is not realized wealth. So this is huge on a number of levels, right? Well, the primary level is this. All those fucking rebase tokens you've been earning, talk to your accountant, but all these rebase tokens you've been earning that we were all fearful were going to be taxable are not taxable, according to this judge and according to the notifications that the IRS sent out. So that is absolutely amazing. And it almost feels like the IRS deciding that crypto was property instead of money is what fucked them on this. Does that make sense, Joe? Like, because they said that this was property, and then you're creating more property by staking, that essentially their attempt to gouge us with capital gains fucked them on this staking ruling. Because I don't know if the judge would have called it creating property otherwise, right?
The only thing I was unsure of, I read that article too, and I think you still pay taxes if you sell them when you sell them, right?
Of course, when you sell them, yeah, that's profit. And Chuck's weighing in. This has always been the case with IP of any sort. Software where you write isn't a taxable asset until you sell it. Absolutely, and that's what he's saying. But the interesting thing is, I wonder if it would have been different if the IRS had treated crypto as money from the beginning. And because then you would actually be earning value on top of money that you invested, right? But because they treated it as property, they fucked themselves on staking, which probably
is easier.
Well, but here's the thing: if you think about how many people just hold versus people who are holding and then stake to earn, there's probably a lot more value they could have gotten in the coffers of the government had they gone the other way. But they made those determinations so far back that, DeFi staking was not a prevalent thing. But it brings me much joy. It's
me too. Thing. I thought it was, because we talk about this a lot with the yield farming, and when you're like compounding, I mean, it in those ones where they auto compound every 24 times a day. I mean, how do you really keep track of all of that?
Yeah.
Other than, hey, I was at X, I sold at Y. Right. And that's what you pay taxes on. So I kind of look at it as also, probably anticipating, this White House strategy paper that's coming out in a couple of weeks on how the U.S. government should treat cryptocurrencies across all the different agencies.
Yeah.
Maybe there's I think it almost sounds like they're trying to not stymie the space, that they're trying to let people grow the wealth and then tax them later.
No, I think their hand was forced. It was a lawsuit. They were trying to
They were trying to get
they were trying to, these people sued them because the IRS said, no, you owe us money for the staking rewards. And these people fought back and sued them. So whoever that Tennessee couple is, gracias, because, you know, we'd all be overpaying taxes when we didn't have to. So thanks for taking the hit.
It does remind me of something in, like if it was options or something, there was remember all that stuff back in tech, there was between NSOs and ISOs. And if you didn't get them at par value, but you got them later, you know, say at strike price of 7 and you got 10,000 options, you had to pay taxes on that $7 times 10,000 before you even executed an option.
Right.
So I mean, it's on paper. You pay your taxes, you got to come up with that tax on that floor value of the option. So I was kind of surprised when I read this that they went that way, since, you know, having to navigate all of that in the past kind of made me think that they were going to overcomplicate this. So
Joshua,
great. Yeah.
Joshua and Jessica Jarrett are the heroes of the day to DeFi and should be for everyone. And this was all over them requesting a refund of $3,293 for income tax paid in 2019 because they received 8,876 Tezos. You just got to love that they were willing to fucking go to bat and say, no, I'm not paying taxes on this shit. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So that's great news. Let's see what else we got. Oh, yeah. So I posted, what the fuck? I'm expecting Alfred Hitchcock to pop around the corner any minute, because then I see an article that says Federal Reserve, stablecoins to be embraced by institutions if adoption rises. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, I think it's, again, you know, with everybody else in gray area, I mean, the U.S. and the U.S. government are making a big, I don't want to put it the right way, but, you know, trying to pull it all here, basically.
Yeah.
Make the rules the right way, because, you know, there's so many hedge funds and banks and financial institutions already in it.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, like even on, you know, I don't know how they do the taxes on appreciated value at the institutional level or what they do, but I could even see that first ruling having some applications to them, you know, on the hundreds of millions of dollars. And then the stablecoin piece, there was that Fed report out last week or the week before, I can't remember. We talked about a tiny bit, talking about, you know, they're trying, I've heard this from others, they want to push the stable coins into the TradeFi space, into the banks.
Right.
Because, you know, I'm not fudding Tether, of course, but, you know, you look at USDC, USDT, all of those, and those are some big market cap numbers.
Right.
And, you know it makes a lot. I mean, I've heard, you know, they treat it as a foreign currency. And so if it has the foreign currency to have the ability to affect the dollar, you know, then they're on them.
Right.
But if you put them in JP Morgan, let's say, and maybe each bank only has a couple BlackRock's got $7 trillion or $10 trillion. So, you know, they could easily do a stable coin that is as big as Tether. And then they back it.
Right.
They're backing it with real securities that are auditable, that people can see, and they get stress tested too.
Yep.
All the time. So I think that cleans up the stable coin issue. Of course.
Yeah, and I agree.
It's not the Wild West anymore. And, you know, there's more compliance, more oversight, all of that. But I mean, I think if people look at those, what's Tether right now? About $60 billion, $70 billion. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm not saying anything negative, but that's a big gapping hole if something.
This should be even more impetus for everyone in DeFi to get the fuck away from USDC and USDT, right? Yeah. Let them play with it. Let them have it. You know, USDC will be happy because they're in the TradFi world and they can take the institutional money, and that's where they want to be anyway. And the rest of us need to get rid of the regulator's back door, which is USDC and USDT both have a back door. I mean, effectively today, the SEC could give a list of wallets that are under investigation, and those wallets could all be the primary wallets tied to the major protocols we use, and effectively force USDC to blacklist those wallets and shutting down, you know, 70% of fucking DeFi. And our reliance on USDC is a tremendous mistake. So we need to start getting involved with more of these algorithmic stablecoins. Right now, the best one in the market is Frax. I would have said MIM a week and a half ago, but that's a fucking dumpster fire right now. Although I will say that project's done well. But go ahead, Joe.
No, I was going to say, you shared an article with me earlier today that we're going to talk about. Somebody wrote a report on time in Wonderland. I know we don't want to talk a lot about that anymore, but it sounded a lot more positive.
Yeah, well,
like
it was a plan
strategy.
forward. We'll go over the bullets on that.
Yeah.
But then, so here's what's interesting. I interviewed a project called Bean Protocol, I don't know, a month or two ago, and was pretty impressed with how they were approaching building this algorithmic stablecoin. Now, I did check in on them during the course of kind of our big dumps, and they're young and new, and there's not a lot going on there yet. But it looks like they have been tirelessly, the protocol has been maintaining its peg pretty well. The biggest problem I had with Bean, and I think it's a cool project, and I was impressed with the founder, is the complexity of understanding how you can earn on it. Because there's all these yield opportunities, which they called silos, field, I think there were trees. Anyway, I think this one has some potential if they can simplify some of the rhetoric around it and make it cleaner. So I'm actually going to go back and take another look at Bean and the earning opportunities there, because I haven't really taken a look at them in a long time. But the fact that they're kind of coming up on the radar now, especially with MIM falling, it's an opportunity for them. So there could be some opportunities in their coins that they use for lending and being an algorithmic stablecoin. Chuck said, what about the Federal Reserve coin concept? The peril of a government-regulated stablecoin is that your cash transactions are now not only trackable, but can be flat out shut down. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole idea behind a central bank digital currency, is that they control everything, right? Yeah. Even to the point of like in China, where they're going to force people to spend money in order to keep their economy going. Like, so basically saying your money gets deleted if you don't spend it. So there's all kinds of risks to that, Chuck, and we need to stay the fuck away from it. That's why I really want projects like Frax and now Bean, and there are others in the space. Don't get me wrong. What is it? TUST? Is that
the Terra one?
Terra, yeah. I have some buddies in the space. Sath over at Yunt Capital loves TUST. I still am remiss in not having done a deep dive into the Terra blockchain and protocol over there. But
that's Luna. The token's Luna, right? On that
I believe
one?
So, yeah. So anyway, I think there's a huge opportunity. I actually, when that Federal Reserve tweet came up and I retweeted it, I actually did the googly eyes thing at Sam Kazemian, because he's the founder of Frax. I personally, from the perspective of a project and team and mission, that's a big reason I'm a huge fan of Sam's. I've interviewed him twice. He just never stops driving the biz dev. I mean, they have partners with every major protocol in DeFi. That Frax is fucking everywhere. And he's positioning himself to be there, right? If there's a problem with USDT, if there's a problem with USDC, Frax will just scoop up more fucking volume, you know? So, and that's been a good earn. Their FXS token has been a really good earn. They're getting ready to launch their FPI token, which will be an airdrop. So there's lots of opportunities in space. I'm a big fan of Frax. So anyway, it's interesting that the Fed would actually come out and say that shit. But
so wait, so what is the token? The token I see FXX Frax share is the token itself where the stable one is Frax, right?
Governance token is FXX. Frax is the stable coin.
Got it. I just want to see how much is out there. I'm curious about market cap 2.6 billion. So that's not that. I mean, there's a lot of growth there.
Coming. A lot of growth.
Yeah, I mean, when you think that USDC and USDT are both 50 billion plus, and then what's BUSD? That's probably another 60 billion. So maybe. I think the algorithmic ones are the way to go. And like you said, Luna, UST, with Terra, they're doing some interesting things. Their algorithms drive off all the other stables, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So and DAI and everything else, and so. I think so when stuff starts losing a peg or starts slipping down 98 cents, 101, they're automatically rebalancing it all somehow within it. So that's key.
Now, the question I have is, does anybody divide up volume between DeFi and centralized exchanges, right? Like a huge amount of USDT volume, BUSD volume, and even USDC volume, less so, is, Binance and all the other exchanges, right? So this may be that Frax is doing better on the DeFi front, but USDC is the dominant stablecoin in DeFi, and that needs to end. I mean, it absolutely must end. And the problem is, it's really difficult. They have a huge moat right now because it's really tough to have your project that it needs a stablecoin in the protocol to utilize anything else when there's this massive amounts of liquidity for USDC. And that's a real problem. So we need to address it. We need to get on this shit. And so hopefully people will start taking that stand. There's been a lot of talk lately about how dangerous bridges are, because essentially there are gaps from a security perspective at times with how some of them are implemented. Yesterday, Solana did not need another problem. I mean, just did not need another problem. And yesterday, $320 million worth of ETH drained from the bridge called Wormhole, which is just pretty catastrophic. And I did some deep reading, and I've retweeted it. You guys can check my Twitter profile for where I retweeted it. But I did some deep reading on these guys who are analyzing what happened on the chain and how it was done. And in simple fifth grader terms, the basic concept was that there is this centralized utility smart contract that's used by a lot of chains provided by Solana Foundation, I guess. And that contract was deprecated for a new version, and evidently Wormhole hadn't upgraded and changed to that. And that presented the opportunity for the gap. Now, there was something else that I saw delineating that, in fact, Wormhole had done the update, and 9 hours later, the developer took advantage of the exploit. What I think was meant by that, and I didn't have time to go back and understand it, but I think what it was meant by that was that the developer was actually looking and monitoring, things that have higher security risk, like bridges, where there are masses of tokens on each side, and noticed the commit in Wormhole's GitHub and realized that they were still vulnerable in some way to some level of that still being available. He was able to test it. He tested it with 0.1 ETH, and he waited for 3 hours. I assume he went and got a beer and came back and drained 320 million. Well, tricked the system into believing he had deposited $320 million worth of Ethereum. So the system said, oh, cool, you've got $320 million worth of Ethereum, went over to mainnet of Ethereum and withdrew $320 million. So, but what that points to is what people have been arguing about Solana for a long time is an issue with centralization. And you will see, the big venture capital investors that have invested in Solana saying, well, if you want speed, sometimes you got to make trade-offs, right? The whole idea of the trilemma, speed, security, cheap fees, that you can't have all three. And in this case, the choice was centralization. And certainly Solana's had a lot of success in growing and building, but there's obviously some level of problems that are at a programmatic level, and they've had some outages over the last couple of weeks. So I think they're taking a little bit of a hit. Do I think it's over for Solana? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. There's too much money in there. But they'll probably be a lot more careful. This article also notes that this is the parent company, Jump Trading, and I guess they're backing the $320 million. I don't know what the fuck Jump Trading is, but if you can jump in and, they restored all $320 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
From their wallet, from their own pocket. Whew.
Somebody wrote,
Somebody's getting fired.
Daddy Jump has a lot of money. Oh, this is Andrew. Look who wrote the article. Of course, it's Andrew.
He was the one on the show a couple days ago, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's
That's
so smart.
awesome.
He's bright.
Chuck says, lazy devs make centralized code. No reason to sacrifice speed for being distributed. It's just harder to do. Yes, I'm throwing rocks, as you should. Chuck Shotton, our friend, is a experienced veteran developer and architect who's built some amazing, cool shit in his life. So
yeah,
more to come on that later. But he can throw rocks. He's qualified.
Yeah.
So keep throwing, Chuck. Let's see. Oh, I thought this was pretty big news. I can't remember if we brought this up or not, but it happened.
We might have mentioned it in passing, but
okay.
Yeah.
So YouTube's head of gaming leaves YouTube to join Polygon Studios as CEO. That's a huge recruit for Polygon Studios. Polygon Studios is the NFT arm of Polygon, the network. It's an entire studio, I think, funded $300 million for funding to fund NFT and gaming related projects. So I would assume that the YouTube's head of gaming has a shitload of connections in the gaming industry that he can bring to the table for Polygon. And this is a really, to me, this is an awesome move by Polygon. Just these guys never stop fucking cranking.
Look at Polygon's Studios partners: Atari, OpenSea, Decentraland, Sandbox, Horizon, Polymarket, Neon District, Insomnium Space, and whatever that one is, Animoca Brands.
Animoca, yeah, that's a big gaming studio.
Yeah, no, this is, what's Matic at right? I was just 151. Okay, yeah, I mean, look, Matic shed about half its market cap in the last month or so.
Well, I think like Phantom Matic is undervalued. Like, I just think there's so much shit about to explode. Roll-ups technology that they're launching, just there's just so much going on in that group, and they just keep executing. So,
well, the 1 year rate of return on Matic is 3,583% this year.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and it's off 38% in the last 30 days. So, this is time to start entering if you guys aren't in it already.
And that is not financial advice.
No. I mean, this is if you're looking at this setup and you like the company, follow the strategy that I like, which is just step in with a quarter of what you're going to do and then wait and see if you got to lever down. But you can do this on anything. Solana looks that way to me too. I was looking at that. That's off like 9% today.
Yeah.
They've shed about half the market cap as well. So these are all falling into bargain territory.
Yep.
In my mind. Phantom, Polygon, Solana, AVAX, all of them.
Okay, so this was an article about Wonderland written by somebody calling themselves the professor that has a traditional finance, mergers and acquisitions, private equity background. And I thought there were a lot of smart points here, Joe.
It was
essentially
good.
He's laying out a plan and the analysis and the justification for it. And I encourage you to read it. It's called Wonderland, the Rise, Fall, and Comeback of the World's Largest DAO, which, it's very positive, good, optimistic state of mind. And essentially, and the analysis is awesome here. So let me go down to the summary and we'll just hit the bullets of what he says. Basically, he's saying that there are too many tokens, transition to a one token protocol because users are confused with memo, WMemo, time, that it's overwhelming. They don't understand how to use it, etc. Kill rebasing. So no more emissions, cap the supply completely, and move to a revenue share model. And only those investors that have held for the 30-day lockout of revenue if you buy new. But provide a share of revenue. I believe the share of revenue was 20% of yield farming and staking that the treasury would do. And he's advocating that not be the total thing. Says bring in, big guys, big guns, COO, CFO, treasury manager, investment manager, communication director, risk manager, other external consultants to help it get its shit together. Allow rage quitting, which I really liked, which is for those that want to exit by locking trading for 48 hours and then burn tokens to increase the price well above backing. So what he's basically saying is give people an exit. They can swap out of the protocol of the treasury instead of on the open market. And then those tokens get burned to deflate supply further. But those who have tokens get some value out of the treasury relevant to what they hold, and that doesn't cause any downward sell pressure on the token itself.
Yeah, because there's fewer tokens out there, so
exactly.
Supply is going down.
Implement anti-robot technology to prevent bots from gaming the system and or own bot for automatic buybacks to protect backing price, but only for the short term. So he actually advocated for killing the buybacks when it goes below reserve. And I think that has some sense to it.
Yeah, he said. He said he put a limit, or the limit order should be placed at the buyback price,
right?
On IDEX, or now Sushi has limit orders evidently, so that you don't have to go scrambling from your wallet as it's plummeting, trying to figure out what to do and get people on a multi-sig, where it's automatic. So I thought that was pretty intriguing, and always defend that. And he did, because he said something about it. You have to read the article to really get it, but that when they were when it would go down below backing price, then everybody who was stalking Sifu and Danny's wallets would start front running their trades because they knew it was coming. And as soon as that wallet, the treasury wallet, committed, then they would dump.
Yeah.
So it was, it makes total sense. I mean, it's easy money, but a way to obfuscate that a little bit so people can't front run.
Exactly.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he wants a better treasury dashboard that makes it clear everything that the treasury has, what it's doing, what it's made, et cetera, et cetera. He wants to abolish all leverage, especially if rebases aren't cut. So obviously cascading liquidations on leveraged or loans that people had on the tokens are what caused the massive jump. And the fact that Danny and Sifu didn't put enough money in the buyback mechanism. I guess programmatically within smart contracts surrounding the tokens, if you created a new token that represented everything, you could prevent leverage in some way. But I'm pretty confident some third-party protocol would figure out a way around it. I don't know. But at the very least, he's saying eliminate leverage on Abracadabra, which Danny controls, right? So stop the borrowing there. And then he wants an educational platform for investors with video content, how to use it, how it works, et cetera. So
he said something like half the chat in Discord or everywhere else is like, what's WMemo?
Yeah, it's a constant, never-ending
memo or WMemo.
Yeah.
What's time? Yeah, it's just all this nonsense. So
yeah, and look, I mean, it's not a difficult thing to comprehend after you put an explainer out there, but just put the fucking explainer on this is what kills me about a lot of projects is they miss the opportunity for education on their website. They provide a link to a 45-page documentation ebook, but they don't just put the fucking obvious shit for usability on their homepage,
like FAQs or something like that.
Just simple. Like FAQ. What is the difference between fucking WMemo and memo? Oh, wow, we can answer that question for people so that we don't spend half our fucking day answering Discord questions that are the same question over and over again. But
and pin them all in the channels at the top.
Yeah.
And then have Rose or whatever bot you're using point to the pin when anybody says it and delete the message. I mean, it's not that hard.
I like this. I heard today in the Discord that Danny is actually meeting with this guy to discuss further. But here's my thing. So I love it. I think all this makes sense. Essentially, it will become an investment vehicle, investing in startup DAOs, investing in other protocols, yield farming, etc. Here's my thing. If the holders, the members of the DAO are only getting 20% of what's earned from the yield farming, how do the investments of the DAO reflect in the value of the token? Because I don't suspect that 20% of one part of the total part that's being invested in revenue is going to be enough to make it worth it. And the reason I say that is this. I think we've hit this stage in DeFi where dividends / revenue are going to be a critical component. And it has to be enough to justify the price of the token.
Right.
And so what's the metric, right? Maybe this is something we could model. You could model out, Joe. Like, okay, if dividends equal X, is it worth it to buy this token for the 6 months of revenue you will get, right? Like if you want to buy and hold for 6 months, will a drop in price of this token be offset by dividends that are paid out over a 6 month period so you don't care, right?
Like the regular yield farming equation.
Yeah. But here's the question. If all the value for holding a token is 20% of the revenue, and look, I admit that prior to this, there was a lot of tokens with no value associated, no revenue for the holder. I get that. But if that's the value, the 20% of the yield farming of all of the revenue of the DAO, is that enough to drive the price back up? Right? Is that enough to get it back to make people whole? I doubt it.
I think it has to add what we've talked about before, that, you know, some angle on the ones that they invest in and the ones that come into the family, the portfolio companies. There has to be some more revenue coming from those. Maybe a percentage of exits, like when you sell.
Yeah.
You know, 20% of the upside goes to the token holders.
Yeah.
Or if you're getting a revenue stream coming off the project because, you know, like a dividends coming off of there, then 20% of that goes to the holders. But more than just the yield farming. Because I think the yield farming stuff is kind of like so 2021. You know, it's not, I don't think it holds up long term. I mean, rebasing, of course, took that to a whole nother level. But I mean, I think that there's something there, but there's not enough, like you said, to justify the value. Because look, he talks in the article too about PE, which is the way you do equities, you know, price earnings multiple. And he's saying that Time's trading at a 35% discount. So like a negative PE is what he says. I don't think that's exactly the proper way to characterize it, but it is a value opportunity. Right. But, you know, these are going to start being valued like stocks.
Yep.
At this point. So with this amount of size of treasury, 700 million, 500 million, whatever, you know, these investors are going to want to see this. What is the rate of return? Yeah. You know, what is my return on investment? What is my return on equity? Those things. And it needs to be juicier.
I think how stable the market gets, right? Think how powerful DeFi becomes if a majority of the investing being done is a little less degen. There'll still be degen shit, but a little less degen and a lot more revenue focused, right? Now, projects really can focus on delivering, and speculation is focused on delivering, and potential ongoing revenue streams. That, to me, is the dream for DeFi, right? Like if we have people that then goes out to the rest of the world and says, what did you get paid from the stock you invested in? If they don't have dividends, right? It's like, why would you bother? We're changing the world over here, and you're fucking around with 2%. You know, somebody who added crypto to their name to get a fucking pump in the market.
The current Zapatos.com.
Exactly. Dazuvda says hello. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name, man, right?
How's it going, man?
Thanks, man. Welcome aboard. So anyway, I love everything he said. This is an awesome analysis. It's exactly what I wanted coming out of this vote, was smart people coming in and saying, here's a plan, here's how you can do it, and presenting it to the world. The only thing I would change is the revenue structure. That's otherwise, I think it's really smart, and I'm glad Danny's speaking to the guy.
Yeah, no, and a lot of other DAOs can use this to their advantage too.
Yep,
I mean, there's just some good guilines for everybody.
Hey, did you read this proposal for taking over Sushi? So Sushi, because of Danny, is and the Wonderland fiasco, is in a bit of a fucking mess, right?
Yeah.
Because Danny is now stepping away from Sushi when he was supposed to be the strategic leader of Sushi, one of the primary protocols of all of DeFi, and they're kind of hanging out there with no leadership, which, you know, theoretically. When Maki was in charge, he, you know, you can read even in a lot of the interview that I did with him. One of the first interviews I did for Mission DeFi was all about how he lets people run with it, right? Like how people in the community were creating things, people on the team were creating things. They said their goals, and he said, go for it. And then he consulted on UI and UX, but he wasn't like dictating a strategy like Danny would do. Anyway, evidently the community's in a bit of disarray. There's some proposals circulating around. I haven't deep dove into this. I just wanted to talk about the fact that you know, it's going to be interesting to see where Sushi comes out of all this. And at the end of the day, it looks like there's going to be new people in charge, in control, and I don't know what that ends up looking like for Sushi holders and members of the community. So we'll see.
Well, look, you know. Look, one of the big things I just sort of missed out on in Sushi is that it has limit orders now. And in these liquidity pools, I mean, the reason we've been up for the last year is because, you know, shit moves in the middle of the night and you can't, you know, you don't see it fast enough. But now you can set a limit order in there. To me, that's pretty impressive. So
yeah,
I think they have the most protocols. They're everywhere. I like it if they could just get their act together now and clean up whatever. I mean, what's Andre doing there? Is he like doing anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. No, he's got his hands full. He doesn't have anything to do with it. So let's see what else we got. Oh, you know what? We'll cover this one a little bit later on, but this is a really interesting protocol trying to solve the bridges problem, multi-chain, cross-chain. I kind of see it as a B2B play, so it's a back-end protocol to protocol play, but they have released their own products, something called Fund Mover. Essentially, it's supposed to be a safer, faster way using a separate layer on chain to move tokens from one chain to the next. But I need to take a deeper dive in it. They just rebranded to Socket. Looked interesting. I'll look at it a bit later and we could talk about it. So I opened up do you have any other news you want to cover before I get into some of the tools?
No. I just have some exchanges teed up for later, but you go ahead.
So there was this great thread by DeFi Edge in Twitter, and he hit on tools that I've used in the past. The entire thread was what are great tools to use in DeFi investing, and some of them we've talked about in the past and looked at and used. Some I hadn't seen before, a few I hadn't seen before, and some I just kind of had forgotten about and don't go back. Now I do. Obviously, everyone's seen Dune Analytics, right? But I don't go back to it. I only go to it when a particular project has a dashboard like Ohm, right? So I click the link, I look at the dashboard, I see the data and the numbers in it. But when you come into here, there's all kinds of dashboards created by people like top NFT collections. I have no idea what Slim Hoods and Mood Rollers wallet statistics, OpenSea data, DeFi monthly active users data. So I think there's, it's just good every now and then to kind of circle back on some of the tools out there and realize that maybe we aren't using everything we should be to examine the market. And, of course, you can utilize Dune Analytics to create your own dashboards for your investments. So it's a really good product. It's complex. You got to know how to do SQL queries, but there's a lot of potential for use, and there's a ton of data out there that people are creating that anybody can access and use and analyze, what they're doing. So I encourage everybody to take a look at it. Like, people are doing analyses of airdrops, all kinds of stuff. So good project. It's dune.xyz, dune.xyz. Let's see. Oh, Tornado Cash. So Tornado Cash has come up because number one, the guy who just stole 320 million in ETH is probably going to funnel it through Tornado Cash. And Sifu at Wonderland has been emptying his wallets into Tornado Cash. I have a feeling he's planning to go underground.
Yeah, I think he's going international waters.
I can't blame him. Cannot blame him. And look, I want to repeat, he did nothing wrong managing Wonderland's treasury. The only thing he did wrong was not disclosing who the fuck he was. Of course, he would have never been put in that position, hopefully, if he had. But anyway, if you need to protect your privacy, if you prefer people not know how much money you have, Tornado Cash is a way to dump your Ethereum into a protocol and have it come out the other side, shall I say, cleaner, fresher.
Well, I'd say that I would do fresher. I would say it another way. I would say that there's a lot of bad actors out there stalking your wallets.
There you go.
Know that.
Exactly.
And that's what we're talking about. Because we're making the assumption that everybody does the right thing compliance-wise and regulatory-wise. We're making these. Maybe it's an aspirational assumption that everybody does that. I mean, we're in a tougher bind being in the U.S. So, but this is when I see something like this, I'm not thinking about hiding. I'm thinking about all these stalkers out there that are watching what you do. It's that, and then if you want to move money to a client that you don't want people to know you're working with, it's kind of like it allows that to happen too. But there was a time back when LinkedIn first started, and I'd go to these meetings before I figured out the settings and shit. And you go to these meetings for M&A deals, and all of a sudden you'd be connecting with everybody in the meeting, and then you'd realize the next day that all your competitors were meeting with them too. Yeah, because they were stalking who you were following.
Exactly.
And so that's when I know everybody knows that now, but I didn't know that back then. And I figured it out. But it's the same with this. People stalk your wallets. You want to go to a new wallet, you go through something like this or Scream or what is that? What is the one on Phantom that we talked about? Is it Scream?
No.
Or Reaper.
No,
Yeah.
no, not Reaper. No,
there is
Reaper.
one on there. It might be Scream. It's somehow tied with Secret
Anyway,
and those guys, but it just play it safe.
By the way, there are opportunities on Tornado to mine, right? You're essentially providing Ethereum and other protocols, other tokens to help with the privacy protection that Tornado Cash offers. So there's opportunities to earn on Tornado Cash. It's not just a protocol for shuffling money through, and that part of it's required. So there's all kinds of stuff built into this protocol. Our friend Justin Bram is an advisor to this project, and it's gained a lot of popularity lately. So anyway, you can deposit in their anonymity pools and have your money come out in another wallet. So if that's something you need in your life, there it is.
Well, look, in a lot of, say, authoritarian government countries where, they really control the capital and you can't get out, or when the government's changing or it's repressive.
Yep.
I'm not going to pick on any, but I think we can figure out 4 or 5 just thinking.
Yeah.
This is just like people use Telegram. The dissidents use Telegram to keep their communications secure. This is the same thing, because if they're watching like internet and phone and all that in these authoritarian countries, they're also watching the wallets.
Yeah.
So, when you want to move money and things like that, you might want to think about that, how you're doing it. So to me, I don't look at, obviously everything can be done for bad, but I think the vast majority of it is good purpose.
Yep. So my buddies at DeFi Safety, it's a father and son team. They just decided to start reviewing documentation teams. They review code commenting and GitHub postings. Essentially, they give projects a review based on how transparent they are. And that's DeFiSafety.com. And it's definitely an upstanding product. I think that there are issues because they don't exactly examine the code itself in the protocols. They are not auditors. That it's a little more difficult for them to be 100% about the scores they give. But the things that are important to them in their scoring, which are, how transparent a team is, how well their code is explained, what the documentation is like, are they open about other things they do, are their GitHubs accessible? These are good gauges. And if you look at the scores here, like I saw somebody else the other day commenting, by the way, on Platypus having an issue with being able to extract your funds manually. And they got a 43 from DeFi Safety. But, look at these top scoring reviews, right? Does this surprise you at all that Balancer, Aave, Liquidity, Gnosis, and Uniswap have the highest scores for a thing called DeFi Safety? It shouldn't.
Not
right?
At all.
So this is a great resource. If you're looking at a project, come over here and see if DeFi Safety's reviewed them or not, and how recently they have. It's a real opportunity to kind of help you make decisions. And they do review protocols that are new. So it's not like just the most stable ones or the old school ones. They review a lot of different things. Impressive. I like the team. I like that they decided to take this on and do it. I think they raised like $2 to $3 million sometime in January of last year. And they're just doing good work and helping the community. So,
yeah, another good tool set to look at.
Now, I haven't looked at this one yet. It took a long time to load, but one of the things he pointed to was a project called Dove Metrics, which analyzes and tells you who's investing in what projects, right?
Yeah.
So whatever this Nest coin is pre-seed, 6,450,000 invested by Alameda, Distributed Global, Alter Global, Serena Ventures, A&T Capital, MSA Capital. So this is a tool that allows you to see what, like if you have a venture capitalist that you trust, that you've backed a project that they backed before, it's a great way to come in here and see who's in what. Like here's Tiger Global, which is kind of being seen now as this massive venture capital firm that has this amazing model that's doing really well. So you can track them by investor. You can track the most recent rounds. You can see what things might be about to heat up. Like if Alameda is investing in Nestcoin, hey, does that mean that when that public sale happens or that seed round, if I can get on it, there's a lot to be made there. So this is a really valuable tool called dovemetrics.com. I think that I'm going to start using this more often. It's a great way to figure out things you might want to ape in on. Just make sure that if you ape in on, you understand what their vesting schedule is, because you don't want to ape in on something that they're going to dump on 3 months later.
Yeah.
So just also, be careful of that.
Well, hey, Nestcoin looks pretty good. You should check that out. I was just looking at it, man.
What the hell is it?
Exit the status quo with us. We build, operate, and invest in simple products that make crypto accessible to everyone. Get early access. So this is exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Nice.
Put your thing in here, and it looks like you're not whitelisted, but you're going to get all the information when it's.
Oh, they're going after the African market.
Yeah, they're all over, man. It looks.
That's cool.
And you look at what decentralized finance, media, digital art, and gaming. So they're hitting all the big ones.
What the? FTX. I'm like, who the fuck has a $32 billion valuation?
Well, that raise is a $400 million.
Look at this Phantom. This is Phantom Wallet, right? 1.2 billion.
PHANTOM. What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the wallet for Solana. Shit, those guys are thinking about that investment this morning.
What do we got here? Starry Nift.
109 million.
Galaxy Blitz. Who's in there? Conflux, Hanky, June, Polychain, Aster Network, Solve. Yeah, there's a lot of Super DAO.
I was looking a little bit at Prism last night. I'm going to look at that some more. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow or Monday. Coin Tracker, this is DeFi tax software. Just got 100 million from Coinbase and Excel. Anyway, this is some good insight.
Oh, check out Super DAO, which is another one on there. SuperDAO.
Yeah, Super DAO, one-click DAO setups.
Yeah,
I saw that one. Yeah,
get early access button. So look, you can all of these and go to their site and click the early access button, and then you're going to at least know if there's a whitelist opportunity or what you got to do to get into the pre-seed seed rounds.
Yeah, this is a great tool.
Good strategy. Yeah, it's a very good strategy.
You know what I should do, Joe? I think what I'll do is we'll start trying to do like a weekly blog post that's just links to the resources and things we talk about.
Yeah,
in the website.
That's a great idea.
In our spare time.
Yeah. Hours 25 through 28, right?
Yes. Yeah. This is a token terminal, which I had never seen before. This is one of the ones that was new to me, right? Joe, and I think this is right up your alley, dude.
No, I like this a lot. I've been looking at it this morning since you told me about it. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. This is all kind of metrics and insights on different tokens, like fully diluted market cap, circulating market cap, trading volume, TVL, trading volume, again, total revenue, supply side revenue. And it looks like, can you have multiples on the chart? Yeah, so you can load up multiple charts within one chart, so you can compare it across. That's awesome.
Yeah, look, I just clicked on the balancer button to look at balancers as we were talking about.
That's what I'm on right now? Oh, no, I'm on Bancor. Sorry.
Yeah. Another price to sales ratio is listed. So that's another one, like market cap to TVL.
There's that PE ratio.
Yep. No earnings, I guess, at this point. But circulating market cap 126, fully diluted market cap 1.17 billion. So that just means there's a lot of tokens that haven't been issued yet.
It's interesting they don't have Olympus in here.
Oh yeah, look at that. Well, they don't. Not even all the way. They have Abracadabra, but they don't have Olympus.
It's crazy. Well, here's Alchemix.
Spooky
so
swap.
Price versus TVL does not correlate. I really like this tool. I like how they do it. The UI is really nice. Really nice. And there's more in this tool. Metrics, total revenue.
Yeah, this one is definitely one that I've bookmarked into my sort of tool folder.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You can look at DeFi Llama. You can drill down here. You can get who's coming in to fund these. So you pick a company on one of those lists, and then you come in here and look at this, or you go to DeFi Llama and you find the ones that are, their strategies. You see where they're feeding into, and then you register on all those sites to get access to the, essentially the IPO rounds or the, pre-seed early stage rounds. Yeah. A lot of those are probably going to have some KYC elements, is my guess, and some registration. With the US VCs, perhaps, but at least, they're going to have email addresses and wallets and things like that. So you're not going to, it's not going to be the Wild West, I guess.
Exactly. But this is a great way to get a picture of a token. You're looking at where they stand overall. I really, really like this. I think this is going to stay on my sidebar over there. Dex Screener. It's one I always forget about. Like, I always forget that it exists, but it has a ton of awesome data and definitely, by chain, etc. Great tool for managing and watching and tracking what's going on different chains. What's trends? I haven't looked at trends before. I guess these are things that are moving. All trends, Ethereum trends, BSC trends. Let's look at Avalanche trends. Oh, it's a Telegram channel. That's weird. Oh, so they have a Telegram channel that sends out alerts on the trends. Okay, we're doing that. Anyway, new pairs. Page loads a little slowly. A little slow.
Tokenterminal.com.
Yeah. Anyway, another great tool. Let's see if there's anything else. Coindix with the unfortunate name.
DIX.
Don't think I'd want to wear it. Yeah, I don't think I want to be called a coin dick. Is that what they call the staff?
Probably a bunch of coin dicks.
That's what the progressive call us.
Yeah.
Bunch of fucking coin dicks.
Yeah, exactly. And when they're like, what the fuck, man? Earned income, the child tax credit's gone. A lot of the stimulus is gone. Instead of being so like rock throwing progressives, you should get on board with this and stop worrying about other stuff.
So this is a kind of a competitor to multi-farm, I guess. It shows you protocols by coin, by project, and what you can earn in yield. So I assume, never heard of SFI or MPH. I wonder if this is the pair for the yield. Let's see what happens if I click it and see. This one's 31.48% on Bancor. It's at Bancor. It's the farms that are on Bancor. So that's what they do. They have them divided up by farm. So you can look at all of the protocols within a farm, all the yield farms or stable stakings or whatever within a given project, and see what their APIs are and what they're paying. And then you can do it, looks like, by chain. And then look at them from there. So this is actually a nice tool. I like it. The question you can pick stablecoins. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. One thing I was going to tell you, I'm sorry, I was looking at QuickSwap for a second and made me remember that how Trader Joe's and IDEX have both been popping because of something, I think it was called modular trades, or there's something that they've added to it that's getting those DEXs a lot of attention. So you might want to look at the other DEXs and see what they're doing. I also heard that QuickSwap was moving, but I don't see it here for some reason. It doesn't look like
Chuck said token peckers.
Token pickers.
Let's start a DAO.
Yeah, with the one button DAO formation, token, whatever. You got more?
I'm just looking at that at MIM paying 49.46% APY on Taro.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
DAI at 19.05% at Taro.
There's a lot on QuickSwap. There's a lot of unknown tokens here paired up, but some pretty high APYs on the first page there. If you sort by AP, I think they have what do they put up there? APY. One at the top with 3 million % return. Probably for an hour. Right. But and a couple other ones, I see a lot of 52,000%, 25,000, and a lot of over 1,000%. But I don't know these tokens.
Right.
Other than, but look at that, and there's a lot of stuff out there too, like you said.
So I saw this announcement that a project called Meow that I had no knowledge of said, "Happy to invest. Meow has brought on some new investors. Huge opportunity. We're growing rapidly." Sahil Bloom, he's pretty famous on Twitter. bunch of individual kind of like angel investors, and then Coinbase Ventures, Gemini Ventures, Lux Capital all jumped in. Jump Capital, the ones that bailed out their wormhole investment. So I went to take a look. Get this, Joe. This is treasury investing. So treasury for any business, right? So they have this fiat gateway. Earn up to 4% interest.
Wow.
We're in the wrong scam, Joe. We're in the wrong scam. Like, yes, please give me your money. I'm going to give you 2 to 4% back on earnings, and I'm going to keep the 15% I'm earning on MIM with your money every day, or on DAI with your money every fucking year. Like, we're missing the boat, dude.
Well, no, the thing is, I mean, we've talked about this. In these treasuries, you should have some kind of the single staking component where, you're getting some kind of yield. It's vested, it's low, but then we turn around and reinvest that in all the protocols we know. And then we split the upside with everybody.
But I mean,
tokens plus the yield they get.
But these are people that are like, getting clients. I mean, I talked to that one guy who I have a ton of respect for, who's, gaining, just taking a 3.3% on people investing in Olympus. And he just is he's handling the wallet. Right. So there's a lot of opportunities out there as we start bridging over into traditional finance and the real world and corporate world. Treasuries in the corporate world are used to less than 1% right now. Right. So you come knocking on the door with 4%, they're like,
holy moly,
where do I send the fucking money? Right. They probably think it's too high risk. That's probably why they kept it up to 4%. Because if they went over 4%, people would be like, "No fucking way,
it looks fake." Then
it looks fake.
I mean, I told you in the past when we were raising money for real estate development deals and other things, if you showed an IRR over like 11%, people wouldn't even look at it.
Yeah,
because they're like, they don't got their shit together.
Yeah,
you had to like engineer it to where it had like 8.5%. So then they're like, oh, lucrative, but not too crazy. Let's see what these cowboys are up to.
I'm not going to get fired for investing in this. Yeah.
Yeah. So
exactly.
To me, it's like if you look at like our bond guys at BlackRock, that we have a friend who, not there anymore, but, was trading like $1 trillion plus in bonds, risk-free stuff. And these guys are eking out like 10 bips, 5 bips kind of returns. And, and that's what everybody expects, because the number one thing is don't lose the money, because it's pension money and stuff like that. But if you have something like that, and then all of a sudden, maybe there's another more little sexier one where, a small part of that is going out to capture like stablecoin yield, and maybe you're getting 3%, 4%, 5%. Well, if you're doing like 0.1 on 90% of it and 5% on 10% of it, you're making more money.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're only putting the other stuff at a slightly higher risk level. So I think all of that stuff's going to come to play. But I was thinking of an anecdote that I told some of my buddies at Treasury. I said, hey, look, this national debt you got going on here? Well, you guys give me a B.
That national debt you got going on there.
Give me a B and I can retire it in 2 years.
I'm here to solve your debt problems.
Yeah, give me $1 billion.
Federal government.
I'll retire that shit in 2 years. Okay. And but just with obviously we know that you can't swing $1 billion into a $13,000 liquidity pool, but the point is there. The financial engineers can figure out a way to get more yield in more secure DeFi stuff, blue chip DeFi stuff. That gets better returns. I mean, it grows out of the pension plan problem. You can grow out of debt problems. I mean, all these things. When the institutions come in big, this is going to skyrocket.
Absolutely. So,
well,
Joe, that's everything on my list today, buddy. You got anything else?
Nothing too exciting. Lots of good yields on DeFi if you're still into yield farming. DFY or DFYN. Lots on QuickSwap. Sushi had some interesting stuff on there too. And I didn't see much on our boys at Crystal, and I didn't see a lot on Cometh, but I think there was a Spooky Swap looked like it had some interesting stuff going on too. So if that's your thing, go look around at those, Trader Joe's on Avalanche, Spooky Swap, Spirit Swap on Phantom, Polygon, QuickSwap, Sushi, Cometh, IDEX, and a bunch of others, Crystal. There is stuff out there still.
Yep.
So if you guys
there's tons of opportunities.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, any of you who have ideas, projects you want us to cover and dive into, people you want us to interview, please do not hesitate to direct message me on Telegram, Twitter, or Discord. All of them are B05 Crypto, B05 Crypto. On Discord, it's B05 Crypto #2148. We want to. What are you laughing
about?
No,
I'm looking at Chuck's comment. I thought you said token pickers.
No, peckers.
Token peckers.
But we want to create what you guys want, and we want to talk about what you guys want to hear. And if you just want us, me and Joe to fight some more, we haven't been doing that lately. So if you want us to spar a little more, we can get after it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Brad's coming to the light. That's why.
Oh, please.
But this is look. You guys don't want us to be on the same page on everything, right?
Of course,
we're on the same page on like 85% of everything.
Yeah, pretty
much. The only thing that we ever disagree on is more nuance.
Yeah.
Than substantial stuff. So how it's characterized, how it's pitched, where it's going, and that's look. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. You get a little action, and then you get a lot of unified opinion. So. And now we got token peckers coming. You'll get a lot more action, right?
Once we launch token peckers.
Yeah. But anyhow, I hope everybody's doing well. We're going to run.
Thanks for watching. Please rate and review. Tell your friends. Tweet about us. We love you. You don't have to be embarrassed that you listen. It's really okay. Yeah. We don't want to be the all my children of DeFi. So could you, spread the word, people. We love you.
Yeah,
thanks.
Absolutely. And
have a good one, Joe.
Everyone. Bye-bye. Talk to you later, Brad.
See you, buddy. Take care, Chuck.